So what can I say to you? When I'm off that, had to fall back. You got everybody thinking I'm all bad. You know the truth. I was always holding you down. You down. Baby. Ain't what it seems for this girl. What is love? Love, what is love? You believe in it for two.
Yo, what it do, man? This is your boy, Northern Floyd, man, and this Ep.204, man, and I got a dope guest with me today, man. I was just talking to him before the show. I first met him. He had his scholarship fund, and man, I was amazed. It was my first time seeing him and witnessing the scholarship and all that, man. And it was a dope event, and I end up getting more familiar with him. And I finally got him on the show, man. So, what's up, man? I appreciate you. You just got off, man, and in the uniform and stuff.
Yeah, man. I'm suited and booted, man. We're gonna do it.
I appreciate the dedication, man, for from tapping in and stuff, man. How's it been going? How your day been going?
Good, man. Look, my day is always long, man, taking care of business, but hey, it's Friday, and so we diving into the weekend.
Yeah, for sure. So, to let people know, man, who am I talking to? Let the people know who I'm talking to.
Right, man. So for those who don't know me, my name is Chris Bates, man. I'm born and raised in Port Arthur, Texas. Everybody know I love Port Arthur, all right?
Yeah, for sure.
So,
yeah.
Born and raised there. Oldest of 6.
Okay.
Just turned 40 a few months ago.
Yeah.
Thank God. And so, again, went to schools in Port Arthur, graduated from Memorial High School in 2003.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, man, I went to Lamar University, got my degree, and then went back to school, got my certificate in certification in law enforcement, man. And so back in 2011, man, I decided to run for constable, man.
Yeah, I want to. Yeah, before we go into any further, that was one of my questions. Like, what made you, run for constable?
Yeah, man. So I've always had an interest in politics,
Mm-hmm.
and so when I found out that the constable position allowed you to be in law enforcement and in a political setting, I was like, I think this is where I need to go. I didn't know much about the position. But I researched it, I learned it, and then I decided to run for it at the age of, I was 26 when I decided to run, and winning the election, man, and took office in January 2013 at 27, and so broke some barriers, man, became the second youngest constable in the state of Texas, first black constable in my precinct, man, and so I've been, people ask me all the time, they're like, man, do you like your job? I said, no, I don't like my job, man. I love my job.
Yeah.
I get up and do it every day and just kind of help people. So it just kind of happened that way, man.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm grateful for the position I've been in now, a little over 12 years now.
Yeah. I have a friend of mine, man. He actually is trying to be a police officer.
Okay.
So what would you say to like the youth, as far as being police officers? Because, you get that stigma sometimes, growing up, and what I'm saying, if one of the young homies say, man, I think I want to be a police officer, then his friends gonna be like, bro, you wilding, so what would you tell somebody as far as like the position and what they getting themselves into?
Yeah, man, it's funny you asked that question because today, every semester, but today actually was the day that I went to the police academy.
Okay.
And taught the civil process portion or section of the police academy at LIT to the cadets. And one of the other constables actually joined me, Ed Cormier.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Joined me today, and we kind of went through the civil side of it and talked to him just about some life lessons. But and one of the things that we actually talked about for those cadets, and then now, like you're saying, anyone that's interested, man, you just got to have some integrity about yourself, man. We grow up knowing right from wrong.
Mm-hmm.
We're human, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, people are going to look at you and put you on a higher pedestal, so to speak, when you're in this position. And so you got to know that coming in that you got to have their integrity. But you got to, I think even before that, you just got to love people, man. this job I found out is more about listening than people are calling you when they need you. They can't resolve whatever issue, and so it's important that you listen, but it's important that you have patience and you love people where they are. And I think a lot of times um, people really don't see that or understand that in law enforcement. But for me, it's worked. I worked in the city that I grew up in. And like you were saying, a lot of some of my friends was like, "Man, how you gonna survive? How you gonna do this?" People,
Yeah.
and I'm like, as I got into the position and working in the position, I did have to deal with people that I know, classmates,
Yeah.
there's people from the neighborhood, and but most of the time when I people talk to me, I always treated them with respect,
Mhm.
and 9 times out of 10, people know when they're doing wrong.
Yeah.
So they're like, Bates, we know you just got to do your job.
Yeah, for sure.
And so, but I never, disrespected folks, and I think that's where it really helps with overall just also respecting people and where they are, because it could be you. You never know.
Somebody asked a question. They said, what about people who have backgrounds? Are they eligible to go into law enforcement?
So, actually, you can have up to a Class A misdemeanor
Yeah.
convicted of that. But the Class A's and the Class B's, they would go before our state commission, which is in short called TCO, and they have a committee that will review those cases, and they have to be 10 years prior. So
Okay.
yeah, so that but
They can't.
it's a possibility.
They
Yeah.
can't be fresh.
They can't be fresh. They can't be fresh right there. They got to be 10 years old.
Yeah, for sure. So
Yeah.
that's the homie Bo Jackson.
Good question.
Yeah,
Good question.
she asked what do you think? What do you think that separated you? You know what I'm saying, from like from the other people, like as far as in the position, how you was able to become like the youngest constable, and I think you was on you like president. Are you still president of the board of
So I'm the past president.
past
So I
president?
was blessed to be the first black president of the Justice of
Yeah.
the Peace and Constable Association of Texas. Actually, the largest association of county elected officials in Texas, over 2,000 members, and the first black president in 79-year history of the organization. And so I was grateful to serve in that capacity, um, and be able to just represent constables and JPs across the state, and then also represent my area where we're at right now. And so um, that was real. That year 2023 was a real good year for me as far as just things that God blessed me with during that year, man. And so that was one of the things leading the organization.
Yeah. You said as far as like I actually have my classmate was Everett, not was, but is Everett Cormier. And how is it like as far as like working with other constables in different cities? Are y'all usually working together and networking and stuff like that? Is that usually how it goes?
Yeah, man. So actually, we try to meet regularly. We just had a meeting with all the constables actually a couple of days ago. So you're hitting some good. You right on time with the questions, man.
Yeah.
'Cause we just met a couple of days ago, and we try to meet periodically to just first off just catch up, because everybody's busy, so just catch up with one another and see how everyone is doing, and then see what issues that we need to bring to each other and work on as a collective in the county. There's 6 elected constables in Jefferson County.
Okay.
And it's crazy. Just I was thinking the other day when we met, is that I've been a constable for a little over 12 years now, and in January when we start our new term, I actually became the senior constable in Jefferson County. Like, I'm the longest serving constable currently out of all the 6 constables, which is I'm Unc now.
Yeah, for sure.
It's wild.
You the OG now.
I'm the OG, and I'm also grateful that actually 3 of the current elected constables used to work for me.
Okay.
In Port Arthur in my precinct. And so it goes to a testament of my leadership qualities, and how I treat people, how I serve, and how people observe and, are inspired, by what, the things that we can do together.
Yeah. They had another question. I don't know if you could do this, but he said, somebody said, I need some tips for the oral board interview.
I mean, I always tell people just in general, be yourself. You know, be genuine, be yourself. You don't have to go in there. You don't have to be someone that you're not. You know, especially in law enforcement, we want to know how you're gonna react or act with the public, and so that is just an interview, just a test to see how you're gonna be conversational. You know, the conversation is not good for everybody. It was
Hmm.
something that I had to work on as well, but I would, just advise, suggest that you just be genuine, be yourself, always be honest in law enforcement. What it is, I don't care what it is.
Hmm.
That's what I told the cadets today. Always be honest, man. And so people can see that you're an honest person, you're genuine, and then you really want to help folks.
Yeah.
So I think if you keep those things in mind, you'll be all right.
Um, Now you said as far as everybody knows you love Port Arthur.
Yeah.
I think people could say the same thing for me as far as Beaumont because I got a pride. But you always have those people that talk down on the city and
Mhm.
stuff like so. How as far as you representing Port Arthur, what does that mean to you to hold that up as far as give it that reputation that it deserves?
Yeah, man. So Port Arthur has some really good people in Port Arthur.
Mm-hmm.
And at times, whether any city, but we're talking about Port Arthur. At times, you get a bad rap. People say bad things, or they see things
Mm-hmm.
and not fully understand. I've been in Port Arthur all my life,
Yeah.
and so I always say if it was that bad, I would have moved a long time ago.
Yeah.
But for me, it's home. A lot of my family is still there. A lot of my friends,
Mm-hmm.
classmates, or whatever. And so, yeah, do we have some things to work on and improve like any other city?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I tell people be grateful and be proud for where you come from.
Yeah.
And so that's why I'm so grateful to be from Port Arthur because everywhere I go, I let people know
Yeah.
where I'm from and that
Yeah, for sure.
and the things that I've been able to accomplish with the support of community, with God leading the way, and so that's why again, you know, I could talk bad about Port Arthur because this is my city, but I'm
Yeah.
not gonna let nobody else talk
Yeah, no
bad.
doubt, man. Yeah,
you know,
like with some of my coworkers and stuff, they don't live in Beaumont, and like from the outside looking in, they just like it's just crime and it's just,
oh,
and I'm like, look, man, you could come out here, you are not gonna get robbed. Now, if you put yourself in a position to
man,
be out 12 o'clock at night, where somewhere you don't supposed to be
that's it.
at a club or something or whatever, I mean, yeah, the possibility, yes, that
Your
can happen.
probability is gonna
Yeah, for
increase.
sure. But if you're going into like Walmart or something like 12
Yeah,
o'clock, you know, you getting robbed is like, that's kind of unlikely. I ain't gonna say it ain't gonna happen, but what I'm saying, it's just the stereotype that the city gets,
and
man. And
that's what it is. It's a stereotype, man. People they'll talk about Port Arthur, they'll talk about Beaumont,
mhm.
and then they'll be in Houston 10 and have a good time. And you really might get your head knocked off
Yeah, for
in
sure.
Houston, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, like you said, I feel like, those cities and even these areas are
Hmm.
more of a family city, a family area where people just working hard, trying to raise their families, trying to do the best they can. And so, unfortunately, there's going to be crime everywhere.
Yeah, no doubt.
We have things in place to try to suppress that crime and do the best we can as a law enforcement agency throughout to do better. But I honestly believe, you like you said, you make it to what it is,
Hmm.
and so if you out and about in places that you know there's going to be suspect,
Yeah,
then 9 times out of 10, you might be in a situation. But
yeah,
for me, go to work, my mama house, go
yep.
home,
That's the
church, and I do it all over again.
yeah, that's the game plan right there, man.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, man. Also, I noticed, man, you get a lot of awards, man. Like every year, dawg. I'm like, I tell myself, I know his award. He got an award case that's just
Bro.
like, So how does that mean? What does that mean to you, as far as like getting all these accolades, and what's one award or accolade you could think that what I'm saying, that meant a lot to you?
Yeah, man. Again, I'm just so blessed to be recognized on different levels. And I tell people all the time, it's not for me. I'm a real humble person, I'm a real giving person. So it just goes to show the things that I'm able to do. And I always say, do it with the community. None of this stuff I can do by myself.
Yeah.
I just can't. And so I always are grateful for the community support,
Mm-hmm.
and for God to just allow me to be in those situations to bring these awards back, these recognitions home, inspire other people, younger people to see
Yeah.
basically, what can be done if you really, put some effort into some things. And so for me, that's is more of a motivation to me to keep going. It's not for me to go home and just look at the trophy case all day long. I'm just, it's
Yeah.
not happening.
Shine them up.
Shine them
and
up,
stuff, yeah.
and that's not happening. But I definitely, especially when I speak to younger groups, let them know like this is what I've been able to do. You can do this and more.
Yeah.
So let's do it, and let me help you do it.
Yeah. As far as like you say cadets, are you seeing a little bit more diversity out there as far as law enforcement?
Yeah, man. Actually, me and Cormier was talking about that today. They
Mhm.
had a good, diverse group of cadets
Okay.
in the class today, and I can kind of see it throughout the agencies as well. When I'm talking about diverse, I mean blacks, Hispanics, women. More women are being in law enforcement, which is great. It's just a lot of great diversity here in our area. More opportunities for anyone to get in. If they can get in and pass a test and all that stuff like that, then there's the opportunity is there.
Mhm.
But I have been seeing, and it's actually been trending for years now. Because I got it. Like I said, I've been in law enforcement. This is actually my 17th year as in law enforcement.
Mhm.
And so even since that time, it's been an uptick of just more diversity, and that's what's needed. We have a diverse community,
Yeah.
and so we should have law enforcement agencies that represent our whole community.
As far as you work hand in hand with PD.
So they're their own agency, and I have my own agency as well.
Mhm.
And so I have different duties as the constable. I'm not tied to the radio. We get civil papers, and that's kind of what drives what we do every day. And they're more tied to 911 calls and calls for help. But as we are serving our paperwork and doing like that, we have our radios on. We assist when needed, when not listen to the radios, and so. But I have a good working relationship with the chief of police over there as well, and other sergeants and majors, and so we try to get together and help each other out. If we're looking for somebody, or there's a kid that's missing and things like that. We try to make sure that the information goes out, and then we are putting it all on our social media pages. So we definitely have an open line of communication for sure.
Okay. I mean, you're known for being active in your community. What's some programs that you're proud of, and also can you talk about your charity that you do every year?
Yeah, man. And I forgot to actually answer one of your questions about the award I'm
Oh
most
yeah, for
proud
sure.
of.
Yeah.
So again, 2023 was just a blessing, a year of blessings for me, man. I was again was the president of the association, making history with that.
Mm-hmm.
And then that year also, I was named a national constable of the year. So
Oh, national.
yeah. In 2017, I became the state constable of the year. But in 2023, the association has nationally recognized me as the national constable of the year, and that was just amazing, mind blowing things. I received that award in Biloxi, Mississippi,
Mm-hmm.
and was able to take that home. And then about a month later, the mayor at the time, Thurman Barty,
Yep.
awarded me the key to the city of Port Arthur. And
Oh,
so
you got a key too?
I got a key, man. I
God.
got a key. It's shiny too.
Dang, man.
And,
Well, I should have expected that. You know what I'm saying? You got the trophy case filled up.
Yeah,
So
I mean, but that year was just a testament to just doing right by people. Like for me, it's simple. Like I said, we human, but I just really try to treat people good. And
yeah.
if you can do that, those things are God gonna continue to bless you, man.
Yeah.
But to your second question about the programs,
Mm-hmm.
so it's important for me to give back. Do things that I didn't have when I was growing up and we was in school. And so I do a few pillar events throughout the year.
Mm-hmm.
One of them is actually coming up December the 4th. I have an annual toy drive. It's called Christmas with the Constable,
Okay.
and it's actually December 4th. And this is the 11th year we've done this. And so we basically invite the community to come out. We ask that you bring 2 toys, one for a boy, one for a girl,
Mm-hmm.
and we donate those toys to the Salvation Army locally. I'm on the board there, and that helps supports the Angel Tree program, and it really does help families in need, especially more so this year. And so we fill the house, the room with toys, man. It's free gumbo, so if y'all want some good food, y'all come on out. I have singing there from different groups, different soloists, and then I sing as well.
Yeah.
It's just a time to fellowship and give back and have a good time. And so that is coming up here next month. And then starting in April, I'll start basically advertising for and promoting the scholarship breakfast, and that's what you attended that year.
Uh-huh.
And I think it was about 11 years ago now is when I actually started giving out the actual scholarship with just $500 of my own money. I'm like, man, I want to give back,
Mm-hmm.
help a student out going into the field of criminal justice. College is high. $500 is going to help some way, somehow.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did that with my own money for a few years. And then I was like, you know what? I want to give more. And so with the nonprofit that I work with, Linda's Lighthouse, we basically had this scholarship breakfast that we hosted in 2018 for the first time, and then we've been having it now ever since. And so this year, we sell tickets, we sell tables, we get sponsorships and whatnot, and we raised enough money this year to give 14 scholarships out. Each scholarship is $1,000, so we got about $14,000 this year.
Okay.
And scholarships to high school seniors, not only in Port Arthur, because it was just in Port Arthur as we were building, but now we've given Westbrook, Beaumont United, again, Port Arthur, of course, Wilson Early College, I think Beaumont Early College, Sabine Pass, Bob Hope, Toccoa. So we're trying to touch all these schools. And like I told the people, if you keep sowing seeds and giving money, I'm gonna keep on giving that money out to those kids.
Yeah, no doubt. I got love for Port Arthur because I went to Lamar State College, Port Arthur.
Yeah.
And man, that was a great school. Like it
Still is.
It still is.
Yeah.
I need to go to get some like shirts and stuff just to But man, I always tell people, man, that school changed my life. Just having my, just being older and, wanting to support my family.
Absolutely.
Going back to school was like one of the options. And I felt, I went through with that option and, it was a lot of, I forgot what they call them, council ladies and stuff that was, and I go up there and talk about the classes and which way I want to go. They would take time. So man, like I always, I got love for Port Arthur and love for Lamar State College, Port Arthur, and stuff like that. But somebody dropped the information as far as they said, as far as December the 4th, 2025, 2 toys, one for a boy, one for a girl, good gumbo and stuff like that.
Yeah. I likes to eat.
Yeah, and then you say, singing, I see you be singing your thing, you doing your thing, man.
Look, man, I've been singing, man. I got it naturally, man. My mom and my dad both sing, and so they blessed me with the voice. Some people know it. Still, a lot of people don't know I sing, and that's cool, man. But I've been singing since I was in elementary, man, from all the way up from school. And then, like I said, I changed my major, but my original major at Lamar University I was a music major.
Okay.
And then I picked up playing the piano here. And so now, actually, this is 20 years that I've been the minister of music in my church, actually here in Beaumont. Is in Hildebrand. They real proudful about Hildebrand too. So
yeah, for sure.
It's in Hildebrand, New Pilgrim Baptist Church, man, and that's where I've been at minister of music there, directing the choirs and that's what I do every Sunday, man. We just sing, and so as long as the God give me that talent, I'm gonna keep on singing.
Yeah, like I said, man, when I went to the event, the charity event you had, and we. Eating breakfast, and it was a good time. And then, like I said, you bust out singing. I was like, man, who's this guy? Like, dang, he sing and everything and stuff. So, and it was a nice event, man. And as far and I like to see people that are proud of their community and where they from, because we have so many people that move to Houston and move to these other cities, and they just they be like, Port Arthur, Beaumont, y'all still doing it. I'm like, dude, like you was just out here last weekend talking about hey family, I'm back in town and stuff. But
Taking pictures of the signs, bon my
yeah,
coming in.
yeah, and
It's
so
tough out there in Houston too. Don't get it
yeah,
twisted,
yeah,
man. You
for
go out
sure,
there and you have yourself in a situation,
yeah,
but always know, and people can tell you this, you can always come home, man. We gonna,
yeah, for real.
home is home.
It's always the foundation,
It's the
man. Yeah.
foundation.
Yeah, I know I didn't left a few times and shoot, I was able to come back home
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and do my thing and stuff.
Absolutely, man.
Another question I want to ask you, as far as like the police and the council, because you do a lot of stuff for the community. So how do you think that we can kind of keep building that trust between law enforcement and police?
Yeah, man.
I mean law enforcement and the community. My bad.
Right. Yeah. In law enforcement, um, we have to do a better job of educating um our community of what we do and why we do it. And then when something does happen, we have to be transparent.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when you're not saying when you're not transparent, but when you take a while to explain a reason of why something was done a certain way, then
Mm-hmm.
people start to build their own thoughts or
Mm-hmm.
perceptions of what happened or why it happened. And so, yes, there's always an investigation, but when that time comes, as soon as possible, we need to start letting the community know why things took place so they can better understand,
Mm-hmm.
why the processes is or why they feel like it's taking so long to get this done. Well, there's due process on everything. Like, you got to give people their rights. You got to go through the process, and there's a criminal justice system in place. And so there's a lot of things that people don't know. And so we have to educate. We got to have conversations like this with trusted law enforcement, because everybody don't trust the law enforcement community.
Yeah, for sure.
And I get it in some aspects of it, And I told the cadets today, I said, man, if you're in this field and you don't have a heart or patience for people,
Mm-hmm.
then you can go ahead and probably not even take the test.
Yeah.
Because it's not going to yield you benefits, or you're not going to be happy doing this job,
Mm-hmm.
And so I let people know now, be be a part of the community as much as you can. That helps out. And so again, I go out and I speak. I see other law enforcement agencies speaking to different kids, going to the schools, holding events. And so we have to be able to get into our community and be involved,
Mm-hmm.
and get that trust and be supportive of each other. It's not one side against another side. We're in this thing together.
Yeah.
And I think if we can continue doing more of that, we'll be a better community moving forward.
Yeah, I see Beaumont police all the time. They do stuff for the kids in different parks and stuff like that. And I think that's a great thing, because I think kids need to see police as far as like helping the community, then rather than taking somebody to jail and pulling somebody over, which most of the time that person might be speeding or whatever and stuff like that. But I think as far as like a kid, you want to see, like, you want to have like a good image of the police or whatever.
You do.
And sometimes I think the media would try to, not the media, but most of the attention comes from like the negativity, and it just spreads like wildfire, man.
It does.
So but like I said, as far as Beaumont police, man, I like the fact that they are kind of reaching out to kids and doing events and stuff like that. So
yeah, I mean, you have to, and as the kids see what they see and they hear what they hear. And so I tell people all the time, because people come up to me and be like, they've been acting bad. You gonna bring them to jail? You gonna put the handcuffs on?
Yeah, for sure.
Like, no, I'm not. I'm not. Stop telling them kids that I'm gonna put them in jail, or I'm gonna put the handcuffs on them, whatever case. Don't stop saying that, because I had a kid. I had to speak at a school. I had a kid come up to me and say, you brought my daddy to jail?
Oh man.
I'm like, I don't,
Oh,
I don't like that, man, because he got that from somewhere. You know what I'm saying? And he may have seen some things, but we have to instill in our kids good things, good images, good memories, and understanding, if they're old enough to know that the processes of what's happening. But I'm not here to scare kids. I'm not here to tell them I'm gonna bring them to jail or put the handcuffs on them, and it's enough of that, man. So If you see me out there and you listen to this podcast,
Yeah, for sure.
I'm not about to scare the kids and
Yeah,
put the handcuffs
do
on
not call him because your kid is acting out of line
I'll
and
talk
stuff
to
like that.
a kid any day, all day long, but I'm
Yeah.
not about to, come and scam and put the handcuffs on. No, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, another thing is, man, you're part of Alpha Phi Alpha.
Yeah, yes, my fraternity is near and dear to my heart, man. Yes, sir.
Is AJ in there? Is AJ?
AJ is a Kappa.
Oh, he a-
Unfortunately, he took the wrong route. Hope he's listening.
My bad. Yeah. So what's up with Alpha Phi Alpha, man? What did
man.
that teach you?
Man, so out here we are the Golden Triangle Alphas. We actually encompass Beaumont, Port Arthur, and Orange in cities, and so
Okay.
we try to do service projects in our community service in all three cities and ones in between as well. And I became a member through the graduate chapter here in 2013, fall 2013, and it was one of the best decisions I made in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Just understanding the brotherhood, understanding that first off, God is first in what we do, in our fraternity, but being able to have the networking, being able to have the resources to, support yourself. If you in the city that you don't know,
Mm-hmm.
there's always a brother in that city, and not only just with Alpha, but once you, if you join or in your Greek organization, other, like AJ, we know other Greek individuals that are members of Greek organizations,
Mm-hmm.
and their support in those aspects as well. And so for me, it just, at a younger age, it just kind of taught me how to, be more of a stronger man in what I was doing. And I'm very much involved in my chapter here locally. I'm actually the treasurer.
Yeah.
I'm past president, but right now I'm the treasurer.
Uh-huh.
And so we trying to do a lot of things. Again, we give out scholarships as well.
Okay.
Do a lot of cleanups and supporting the community, supporting other organizations. But for me, especially, and I tell it to younger people, it's going to give you some, as a young Black man, it's going to give you some things to really look forward to and understand how you should carry yourself when you just out and about, for sure.
From being in a frat to nonprofits to your job, like, is it kind of hard, constructing time and stuff? Because I know you just got off, and then after this, you got to do some stuff after that. So
yeah, man. Look, I got kids, man, and and family, and a wife, and and siblings that get on my nerves sometimes.
Yeah.
I hope they listening. And
yeah, for sure.
no, I love them all.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is definitely a sacrifice, man. If you're gonna do it and you're gonna do it right, it's gonna require some time. I'm grateful for understanding and loving wife. She understands that this is what I do, this is what I love, and my kids understand it as well. And so you got to have that support first off from your family. But again, it does pull you in different directions. But at the same time, I make sure that I get my time in, take my breaks, take my mental health breaks for sure. Cause,
gotta have that.
Again, this is what we signed up for. This is what I signed up for, being an elected official. But people will keep asking you until you just have to say you can't do it.
Yeah.
And so my mom told me one time, she's like, Chris, you got a good heart. And I know one of the things that's hard for you to say is no. And she said, Chris, you're going to have to tell some people no sometimes so you can have time for yourself. And so it's not saying no to be ugly or be rude, but it's saying no sometimes to have my time, to be with my family, and just to be Chris,
Yeah, because like I said, man, I'm seeing you here, I'm seeing you there, and I know people be hitting you up all kind of things. People probably hitting you up, try to get out of tickets and all kind of stuff, man. So
man, people hit me up all the time, and they'll be like, "Man, I hate to bother you." I'm like, "No, you
they
good."
always start with that. I hate to bother
I'll be
you.
like, "You good? If I can help people, I can." But they probably be like the 20th person that say, "I hate to bother you," and that's cool. We're gonna take care. Like I said, I remember doing one of the Hurricane Delta Laura that came through here in 2020. Man, I stayed back when we evacuated the city in Port Arthur, and man, when the storm passed. One person, they were like, "Hey," I said, they knew I was out there. They were like, "Can you take a picture of my house to make sure everything is good?" I was like, "Yeah, man." After that, I probably had about 100 people hit me up and asked
Yeah,
me,
yeah,
to take pictures of their houses. You know, and I was riding around the city, but again, I was there. They trusted me. They knew I was there, and you know, for me, it was just helping my community. So if I can help somebody, I'm gonna help you
yeah.
regardless.
Do you think like I'm not gonna say single handedly, but you think as far as the perception that you're changing as far as the community when they see you, they know you one of the good guys and stuff.
Man, I believe so, you know, and I'm grateful for, you know, if people see that and they understand that. I want to be the person, if you see a crime that's done and you don't trust, you know, a certain other person to give that information to, like, look, you know, because of retaliation, you can come to
Yeah,
me because you know Chris Bates is going to be fair. He's going to, you know, get the information out to the right people, but at the same time, not make you feel um, nervous or scared about the situation that happened. Or, you know, if you have an event or something going on, and if I can be there to support it, you know, I'll be there. You know, if your child is in a situation, I'm not going to bring them to jail,
yeah,
but I'll talk to them, you know. And so those things to me are important for the community to see that they trust, you know, that law enforcement person. They trust because I'm the elected constable. They trust that elected official to give them the best information. I try to, you know, even during the pandemic and different storms, I try to put out good information of people because we now know that people get their information
hmm,
mostly from, you know, from social media. And
yeah,
so
yeah.
I want to be that person that individuals can trust. They know they can get the best information from, and then we can help our community together.
Yeah, Brandon Johnson. He say he can't tell if you live in BMT or PA because he's helpful with everything every time. I think Brandon, he a Kappa too, huh? What?
Brandon is a cop, but he went the wrong way as well. You know,
Them Kappas showing out right now,
they
man.
deep out here. I give them
Yeah,
that.
for
I give
sure.
them that. But no, Brandon good guy, AJ good guy, man. I got a, you know, a lot of. I'm in Beaumont as well a lot, man. I get my, like I said, my church is in Beaumont.
Hmm.
I have a, you know, a lot of friends. I have some family in Beaumont that stay in Vokes, you know. And so I mean, I'm moving around and make sure that I support Jefferson County as a whole for
Oh, you
sure.
got some family in Votes?
Yeah,
Oh,
man.
Votes, Texas, and
Yeah, I got some family out that way.
okay, okay. Shout out to Votes,
Yes,
man.
sir.
For sure. Who is Chantel Mayfield? She really,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. That's
She's
one of my church members of the church we grew up at, man.
man. She's showing you love. She on here
Chantel's an
just
awesome woman of
giving you
God, man.
flowers like it ain't nothing, man.
She is an awesome woman of God, man. We and actually grew up with her kids, you know, and so she's grown up in church. So
Okay.
I appreciate all the support she is giving all these years as well.
Yeah.
As a little
Stacy
boy,
Stacy Lewis said, "What's up?"
Stacey Lewis owed me lunch, but it's good.
Oh,
You
for real?
know?
Dang, man. Come on, Stacy. Don't don't
Yeah.
don't do like that. Stacy a good dude too, man. That's
He
the
a good
homie.
dude, man. That's my boy right there, man.
You know, I've been doing this podcast for a while now, man, and I would reach out to Beaumont PD officers and stuff, and
Mm.
man, they be like, "Oh, I don't know, man." Why do you think, like, as far as officers that they don't come on, like, I mean, shows and podcasts or whatever, radio, whatever it may be,
Yeah,
you
man.
know?
I think it's a perception of they may get asked a question that
Mm-hmm.
they're uncomfortable with answering.
Yeah.
But for me, you know, it's a question, and you can only answer it the way you can answer it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and for me, I'm not afraid, you know, to if there are tough questions to answer the tough questions, or give an opportunity to educate somebody with that question. I think sometimes, they may look at that aspect of it as if it be an attack on them, you know, on the law
Mm-hmm.
enforcement community or whatever. But I take it as an opportunity to educate and learn together.
Yeah. My past experience, like, I worked at this particular job, and a lot of officers would work overtime,
Mm-hmm.
and so I would, meet a lot of officers, and just talking to them, man, it just made me realize that, man, to be honest with you, they regular people,
Regular.
the job, is can be critical, but when you talk to them, man, it's just like, it's like a regular person, and what I'm saying, I met a lot of officers
Yeah.
and became friends with them. and had a whole different perspective because it made me understand that, just because something happens on TV, that don't
Yeah.
mean everybody's bad. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? So if you work somewhere and you might have a bad coworker, that don't mean y'all all bad,
And you said it earlier about talking about stereotypes, and in the black community we get a lot of stereotypes.
Yeah, for
We
sure.
understand that, but even in this, in what I do in law enforcement, we get a lot of stereotypes. So if you don't like to be stereotyped as as a certain race or whatever,
Hmm.
in the same way, I don't want to be stereotyped, as being a law enforcement officer. But I do have a different perspective in times because I am a black man who's
Hmm.
in law enforcement, so I see
Yeah.
things, I understand things, or why things may happen the way they are, and so again, that's why I spend a lot of time with just trying to educate people to help them better understand the job, because I didn't know what it all entailed 17 years ago,
Hmm.
but I've been in it now, and so now I can understand why things are the way they are in some things, but there's some things I don't agree with, in law enforcement and what happens
Hmm.
and different things we see in the media and whatnot. And so I think I'm always, and I know the law enforcement friends that I have, we want to make sure that we're spending time supporting our community and educating our community of the job that we do.
Yeah, I think sometimes we just don't hear. Uh, we just don't like it. I'm glad you here because we just don't hear from, what I'm saying, y'all, or from your side. As far we see what goes on TV, but
Yeah,
we don't understand like what actually goes on in the perspective that y'all have and stuff.
absolutely.
And I seen I seen something on YouTube. I think they had like citizens do some reenactments and stuff like what would you do and stuff. And I ain't gonna lie, some of them citizens they didn't shot some people. They was
What?
I forgot what it was. It was like some
Really?
it was like some experiment or something, like what
Okay.
I'm saying, as far as like putting
Some
themselves in
social
a
experiment,
yeah,
like
putting
that.
themselves in a position and stuff, and like what if a person touched their side or whatever?
Yeah.
Some lady pulled a gun out, shot the. I was like, dang man.
Yeah.
Then people just don't understand that the job y'all do is what I'm saying, it can get critical, and sometimes it's like a Monday morning quarterback, you saying what you would have did, and they
Right.
said shoot him in the leg or something like that. But
Yeah, you're right, man. It's just, and that's in like if you that's in our profession. Like I can say what I think a doctor should do or a lawyer, but I'm not a doctor. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not an expert in those fields.
yeah.
And so I look at it the same way. I respect those professions, and if I need some information, whenever I want to go to the expert, and so that's why I do get a lot of people that come to me and be like, "Hey, what you think about this situation, or why did this happen?" And again, I use that opportunity to educate because I know people don't do this every day, so
Hmm.
they literally genuinely want to know why this is taking place. And so, I don't, beat up on them or say, "Oh, you'll never understand," or nothing
Yeah,
like
for
that.
sure.
I educate at that moment.
um Trina, which I got a high respect for her. She's a therapist out here. I think we already answered this question, but she was saying, as far as how do you balance your identities, black male officer, community activist, while maintaining a healthy mental wellness. See, she asking those
Yeah,
therapist type
yeah.
questions. For sure. But
Man, I just, like we said before, I do take my time. I really do. Um, I'll go, and then I'm like, okay, I gotta shut it down for a little bit
mhm,
so I can kind of gather myself. I go to all these different events. I'm like, okay, I gotta chill out. I don't want my wife getting mad at me. She looking at me crazy. Like you've been going to a whole bunch of meetings. And I'm like, baby, but so I just kind of shut it down, give my family time or whatever, and not only my intermediate family, like my wife and my kids, but like I said, my aunt, my mom, my dad, my
mhm,
sisters, just hanging out. My mom like to cook and I like to eat, and so we be over there grubbing. And so I just have that time with my family and then my friends, frat brothers and just friends I grew up with. Having another time just to sit and watch football games when I can,
yeah,
and I'm not a big gamer. I don't do a lot of games, but I just like
yeah,
hanging out and just having some good conversations. Every time we get together, we just talk about the old days back in the day,
for sure.
and so you gotta have your breaks, man. I have a good group of friends also that's elected officials, young elected officials here in
Hmm.
Jefferson County, and you gotta have that base of friends also that to talk to, vent to, express things to, get ideas of. And so it's important just to have that support and not bottle everything up and have our opportunity just to talk about some things sometime. Sometimes we just want to keep it all in, but that's not the
Yeah.
right way. You
Yeah.
just got to talk things out and you got to take your breaks.
Yeah. Terry, he asked, he was like, does Chris have any aspirations he wants to pursue, maybe mayor or council in PA?
Man, I actually get asked about running for city council
Yeah.
quite often, man. And I think sometimes people, again, that's why I like to educate. They don't put that my job as a constable is already an elected position,
Mm-hmm.
and so I'm already in the elected
That is
position.
true.
And so, and then this is actually my job. Like this is what pays the bills.
Mm-hmm.
And my daughter's in band, and she need a new, flute, and
Yeah.
my daughter's in dance, and the dance bill don't stop coming. And so this is my job. This is how I pay the bills, and I always love serving the community, but currently, city council don't pay what I get paid right now.
Man, they don't pay. Yeah, for real.
So you gotta keep my job currently and I can't even, and the city council does pay a little bit, and you can't, by law, you can't hold two positions that pay.
Yeah.
Two elected positions that pay. And so right now, God has blessed me to be the constable. And I right now that's what I'm going to be, because I actually have a baby due next month. And so,
Yeah.
bills going to keep on coming, and I got to get some milk. So
Yeah, for sure. But you're right, man. They don't pay like that as far as
this
city
not
council.
Houston. It's not Houston.
Yeah, for sure. Even the mayor, I was
Yeah.
telling people how much the mayor. They're like, no, not the. I'm like, bro.
No, sir. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a great position to serve.
Yeah.
And be there for the people. Don't get me wrong, and that's why I still do so much. But right now, I'm just blessed to be the constable and just kind of keep building a foundation right here.
Yeah. How do you feel as far as PA? Y'all just approved though. Did y'all approve a bond over there?
So it was a proposition
Uh-huh.
that was passed in Port Arthur on Tuesday, basically to do more. We have an EDC, Economic Development Corporation, and so because of the type EDC that we are,
Mhm.
that we want to do projects, fund projects that are not based on industry, because we got a lot of industry in Port Arthur. If it's not industry led, then we have to go to the voters for those what we call quality of life or type B projects. And so we approve those projects to for our city to basically kind of fund those projects and do more things within the city, for families.
Mhm.
A lot of families, so we're looking to see more green space in the area where people kind of just hang out and have a good time, and just, even this whole area is just industry heavy, and so we got to have things to do that
Mhm.
people can just do and go hang out on the weekend,
Yeah, no doubt. One thing you said as far as voting, I know you're an advocate to get people to
Oh,
vote.
yes.
Man, man, I try so hard to get people to vote, man.
Man, I know.
How do you think we can fix that as far as getting people to vote, man? Because jeez, it's tough.
It's tough, and I think that goes back to the education portion of it. And we have to first off have to meet people where they are,
Yeah, true.
and we start too late normally. Even myself, just trying to educate people on voting, and so when they do finally vote, they be like, "Well, who you vote for? What I'm voting for?" And this, that, and other. And I get it. We start too late.
Yeah.
But people have to understand how they have to have a vested interest in voting. Understand that you wake up every day, you go to work, you pay bills,
Mm-hmm.
but do you really know why you paying bills? Why you paying certain percentages on insurance? Why your water rate is this way? Why you can only have one electrical company in Jefferson County because the county commissioners approved that energy is the only sole provider? Like, you got to understand that everything that you do, for the most part, especially paying bills that are paying the mortgage, is set by either local or state or national legislators, and they carry out through our bureaucracies that we do this. And so you sitting at home and you just working for a reason, but not voting for the people that's telling you what to do, makes no sense to me. And so I think people have to understand that a little bit more. Like, what am I doing, how I'm doing it is based upon a decision by a person that I didn't even vote for.
Yeah.
You know, because I said my vote doesn't count.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and people now utilize your vote doesn't count and they're gonna keep pushing it on you, and they utilize that to keep stay in power
Yeah.
and do things that are not of the interest of certain communities, you know. And so we have to understand that everyone has to be a part of the process, you know, whether you support a person or support a proposition or support a bond or not. Get out and let your voice and your vote be heard.
Yeah, I say that too, man. As far as like, and I always say, as far as your local elections is more important almost than the presidential and stuff like that, because these people are a reflection of your actual community.
Right.
It's gonna represent you. Like if you're complaining about how that street raggedy,
come on,
and that council member is constantly ignoring you, well, when it's time to elect somebody, then you can put somebody in there that that's gonna actually fight for the things that you need in your community. So that's why it's important to vote, not just get on Facebook and complain and stuff. You actually gotta go vote. And you do have those people, like you said, that'd be like, my vote don't count. It actually do count in these local elections, because you see the numbers are very low, and it's just disappointing, especially out here in Beaumont. People always say, man, the West End is always the place that they fix and the roads they fix. Well, to be honest with you, if we vote and we go to these council meetings and we show up and let them know that, look, man, we want the same opportunities and we want the same things that are happening, then trust me, it's gonna happen.
Right.
But we got to get the right people in there, and as far as voting, that matters.
The right people is for sure what you just said, and you have to know that, as an elected official, I don't have the power. I work for the people, and I try to let people and make people understand that the elected official that you're voting for are the ones that you didn't vote for. They still work for you as the people. And I actually I teach part-time, I adjunct at LIT. I teach Texas government right now.
Okay.
And so I have a lot of high school students, and I created this project to where they have to go out and interview an elected official.
Okay.
And so for them, they like it. But one of the things that frustrates me as an elected official and as an instructor in that case is that they reach out to elected officials and they don't get a call back, or they don't get an email back. So you ask for my vote, but when I need you, you don't respond to me. Like, that makes no sense to me. I take pride in people going to vote for me. You got out of your house, put your shoes on, burn up your gas, and went to the polls and voted for me. So the least I can do is respond back to you when you send me some messages or you call the office. But they're elected officials that get in office, they don't do anything, and they make it bad for everybody.
Yeah.
And so those people can go sit down somewhere.
Yeah, you do have that, man.
They make it bad for everybody.
Yeah, because it lets people know that they just want that title.
Yeah.
And I think some people use that as an excuse, like you said, as far as like, oh man, people are just crooked politicians. You can't trust none of them. They'll use that one politician that don't really respond to their community, and they be like, oh, I ain't voting because such and such or whatever. And we just got to start being accountable, man.
I don't know, bro.
So
I might get a few phone calls for saying this, but if that's the case, man, vote that rascal out, man.
Yeah,
look, if Chris Bates ain't doing what he's supposed to do, vote me out.
Yeah,
today, and I ain't, that's it. But you're always gonna be. I'm always be consistent. I'm always gonna give back. But if the day I don't do it, I'll get somebody to get me out of there.
It's gonna be kind of tough, man. I don't know, man. Your reputation pretty solid right now.
I'm just real about it. I mean, just being an elected official is just, to me, is just like so rewarding, man. So I just gotta give back to where I can. And so, again, it just upsets me as a pet peeve of mine to see elected officials not doing their job. I don't know. So again, whether it's Chris Bates or anybody else, if they're not doing their job, vote the rascals out.
Who was some of the your influences growing up to put you in the right direction?
Man, family first was just a good influence on me, man. My grandfather, man, he had a little a little farm, back in I grew up in El Vesta, is a community in Port Arthur, but I just, remember just being, with my grandfather, just, learning a lot of things, being out there, going get the eggs from the chicken coop.
Yeah.
Meadow, we had to go get the eggs and fry some eggs and whatnot.
No doubt.
And so, my grandfather is one inspiration to me, man. Obviously, my mom and my dad are great influences on me.
Mm-hmm.
Even today, even at 40 years old, I'm like, man, whatever I do, I ain't trying to embarrass my mom and my daddy because they raised me right.
Yeah, for
you
sure.
know, and some kids, and I talk to some parents, and some of these mothers, man, and they scared of their kids and this. I'm like, man, I'm 40 and I'm still scared of my mama in a respectful way,
Yeah, for sure.
But I appreciate the things they instilled in me, and so that's a great, portion of my development and just success, and just being around good teachers growing up, man. The teachers back when we was in school, they were some good teachers.
Yeah.
And there's some teachers that's trying to do the best they can right now, man. But some are there only for a check sometimes,
Yeah.
So we don't got them old school teachers. And so I have a few educators that are influences on my life, and politically, man, it's just kind of seeing individuals and not knowing what I was looking at, but just seeing people how they moved, and now people, as like you said, the OG or unc, people look at me now as that person to come and talk to as a mentor or whatever. And so I want to make sure that we're doing, as a young elected official now, still cultivating the next generation to come up. Like, it makes no sense for us to sit back and do all this and take it and not prepare somebody to come up and take the positions that we have, because then that's the case. That what hurts our community when we're not prepared. And so we got to be prepared for and preparing individuals to come up and be the next constable or be the next, city council person or whatever. So that's kind of a twofold motivation for me, how I do it and how I appreciate where I'm at today.
I haven't, unfortunately. I want to, but I haven't had too many people from Port Arthur on the show. I've been trying, but name like 3 people in Port Arthur that people should pay attention to that's doing great things in the community that that me or whoever watching should know and be like, I want to network with him. I want to get with that person or her, and maybe we can do something together and provide something better for the community.
Yeah, man. So I'm first off, I'm just shout out two of my closest best friends, man. Caitlin Gardner, who is Caitlin Gardner Senior, who is actually the pastor of First 6th Street, and he's also the current JP, just of the Peace of Precinct 8. We went to school together, sang in the choir together, and so we graduated high school together. And so he's a person I believe that should come on the show. And then my other friend, Brandon Barty, he's on the school board for Port Arthur ISD, same thing, sang in a group together, went to school together. And so, the people, I know a lot of people, don't get me wrong, but these group of guys, my friend Robert King Jr. and Jared Phillips, we grew up together. Nathaniel Funberg, Skip Goldman, Darius Spears. We grew up working just in the neighborhood, singing together, doing good things. And so that core group of individuals have just inspired me. It's just because I remember from elementary all the way up.
Yeah.
And so those 2 guys I talked about first are good. And then there's a young lady named Kayla Jacobs. She would be great to come on your show and talk about some good things. She is actually the founder of State of the Trill. It's an organization that we have that she has in Port Arthur. Is on social media. Look it up, man. But all things Port Arthur.
Okay, for sure.
She would be great to come in.
What is it called again? The State of the Trill?
State of the Trill.
Okay, I'm going to have to check that out.
Check it out, man.
Tap in with her.
Tap in and bring her on. She can definitely give you some insight on some things, man. Another person who actually graduated, my little brother, Fred Owens. He's actually the port commissioner, one of the port commissioners of Port Arthur. And actually, he's a principal here in Beaumont at one of the elementary schools. But we can get Fred in here and tap in. So I like these are some good people, man, in Port Arthur. Again, like I said earlier, there's good people in Port Arthur, there's good people in Beaumont.
Yeah, yeah,
You know, and so we just need to tap in and give them opportunity to come and just kind of share what they know in their expertise, man. And so
no
that's
doubt.
why I appreciate what you're doing, because it's just educating and having people to get another side of everything, you know?
Yeah, no doubt, man, and that's what I think we need to, as far as having conversations like these, because a lot of people, they like to share the negative stuff. You see the fights and
Yeah,
all that, and so, man, I just try to give a different perspective of what's going
absolutely,
on out
man.
there.
It's much
Um,
needed, much needed.
what's next for you, man? What's the next goal for you? What's the next project for you, man?
Man, you know, right now, and a lot of people ask me like, what you want to do next, or what position you want to run for, whatever. I'm like, listen, I don't, uh, I'm a firm believer in my faith, and I make sure that in my prayers I ask God what direction He wants me to go in, and I can hear Him clearly saying, Chris, just keep building your foundation.
Hmm.
You know, a lot of times we want something, and then we ask God to give it to us, but then
Yeah.
our foundation cannot even hold it because you're
Hmm.
not ready.
Hmm.
You know, so whatever God brings my way, I want to make sure that I have a strong foundation, strong concrete, whatever the case may be, that whatever He blesses me with, I can sustain everything that comes along with it. And so right now it's not a clear Chris do this, but what
Hmm.
He's saying is Chris prepare yourself. And so that's what I've been doing, man. And so I'm gonna keep doing that until He tells me otherwise. But I'm gonna keep doing the things in the community, supporting, with the events I talked about, but supporting other organizations. I go to a lot of different events, man,
Hmm.
and support people and support their programs and what they do. I had a couple of people come like, how do you get people to come and get tables and
Yeah.
and buy tickets at your event? I say you got to support people.
Hmm.
You cannot think
Oh
that
man, come
you
on,
are going to get people to support you when you don't support them.
man. I say that all the
You
time.
just can't. And
Yeah.
so I make sure that if I can, I'm gonna show up. If you invite me to somewhere and I'm in town and I don't have my daughters don't have anything, my kids and my son don't have anything going on,
Hmm.
I'm gonna show up to support you because I think that's the right thing. It's a good thing to do.
Yeah, no doubt. And like you said, there's a lot of good people out there, man. So,
Absolutely.
that's one thing, like I tell myself all the time, man, like I do this show once a week, and I was like, man, there's so many good people out there to talk to, and somebody will hit me, and I'm like, dang, man, I'm like, I'm booked up to like December, and I was
Wow.
like, I
That's a
be
good
wanting to
thing
talk
though.
to. Yeah, it's a good thing. And I was like, man, I tell him, I was like, I really do want to have that conversation. You just you gotta bear with me.
Yeah,
So,
that's
but
good.
man, I appreciate you coming on, man, for real. Like, I was like, when I hit you and you said yeah, I was like, oh man, this is gonna be, what
Oh
I'm saying,
yeah.
this is gonna be needed and stuff. So, like I
Absolutely.
said, man, I thank you for spending your time, and like you said, you was coming from work and then you got to do that. So man, I'm just humbled that you was able to come through, man.
Yeah, man, we made it work, man.
Yeah.
Again, I appreciate you. Like I said, I follow you. I check you out, man. I see, the inspiration that you give people, and I tell people just be genuine about who you are and
Hmm.
what you're doing. You don't have to be this real serious person, whatever.
Yeah.
I like to cut up and clown and have fun. I make a little funny post on Facebook.
Yeah.
You do the same thing, but you got to meet people where they are, man. You
Uh
got to
huh.
be genuine. Nobody just want to deal with somebody that's
Yeah.
just,
Yeah.
just a stone mouth all the time and don't smile and all this,
Hmm.
that, and other, man. So that's what we need, more real individuals just doing, great work in the community. And so
Yeah.
I think we're moving and we're doing that.
Hmm.
And so, but we have to cultivate our young people coming behind us
Yeah.
to let them know what to do, how to do it, and encourage them. And so, even if one or two sees this podcast,
Hmm.
it's going to be inspirational to them.
Yeah, I hope so, man, because that's all, what I'm saying, as far as I'm trying to do is inspire and prevent them to go from going down that route
Right,
that might, what I'm saying, as far as delay their success. I'm
right.
just gonna say it like that. So,
No, it's good, man. So, however I can support you, you let me know, man. And if anyone that we'll follow up and I'll look at some of the comments, whatever, man. But we need to support people.
yeah.
We need to help our communities, man. And overall, we just need to be nice to people. I was telling to the cadets, man, just
Yeah,
be a
man.
nice person, man. Like, Lord deliver me from being around mean,
Yeah,
rude,
man.
disrespectful people. I don't like that. I don't like that energy. And so, I know a lot of times I see stuff on the internet, man, and people on social media and people talking this way and talking that way. Let's be nice to people, man.
Yeah.
You know, overall, you know, we don't have to agree with everything, but at the same time, let's be respectful.
Yeah,
to folks.
that's the main thing, and that's the one thing I learned as far as like, you know, just waking up, just being positive, because
Yes,
I just don't think you get blessed just being negative and
Bro,
mean
there
and
you
just
go.
you know like it just don't work like that. You know,
It don't.
And so
It don't. You can't be mean and rude and ugly to somebody and then expect a blessing from God. It just don't work like that.
that's
you know?
kind of that's a little.
At least not the way I learned it.
Yeah,
you know?
for sure. You know, I don't think it worked like that. You know,
No.
but they keep trying, but I don't think it's gonna work like that for
No,
sure.
sir.
But like I said, man, once again, I appreciate you for coming on, man, and like I said, man, I was waiting for this show, so
Yeah. I'm glad about it, man. It happened.
All right, so man, look, man, I appreciate everybody for watching the show. We gonna do this again next week. Also, if you missed most of the show or if you missed some of it, it's gonna be on YouTube. It's on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, whatever you stream your podcast or listen to, it's gonna be on there. And like I said, I appreciate everybody for tapping in, asking questions, and I appreciate Chris for coming on the show, man. So until then, I'll see y'all next week. Holla.